Well, hello everyone, and welcome back. We are here today at Ascended Eclipse, which is of course part of templeshrine to go through this particular dungeon. Now, if you are new around here, please do hit that subscribe button and leave the video with a like. Now, this run, we are running Legion Revenant, Lord of Order, Paladin Chronomancer, and Dragon of Time. If you do not have a Paladin Chrono, Arch Paladin should do the job. Okay, so for this first room, everyone was on the Fallen Star apart from Thay, which was Dragon of Time, and he took on the Deer. The first room you should be getting through relatively quickly if you're sticking to that kind of pattern, so once they're both down, you can just move on through. Room 2, again, is a relatively straightforward one, so once you get into here, you want everyone to fight Suffocated Light first, so you can just focus on that elemental on the left-hand side, and that is kind of the way to go about the fight. Once he's down, move on to the Fairy, and that should be you pretty much done in this particular room. Obviously, we're going to speed that up like 100 miles an hour, so you're not bored with it, and then we will be able to move on to room number 3, which is where things get slightly more interesting. There are some mechanics we actually need to think about, but we'll come on to the one specific one that's really going to bug you up in just a moment. In this run, Thay, aka Dragon of Time, went along and started on defeating the night, while the other three of us were focused on the moon. It is worth saying our Legion Revenant, which in this case was Wanderlust, was also taunting the moon, as there is a stun mechanic that it uses. Anyway, let us get into this battle and show you exactly what we're on about with the radiating light. So there is a particular message you need to look out for if you are running heals on your class. So when a message pops up saying the sun's heat radiates, do not use any heals. That will cause wiping within the team. As soon as you see the sun's heat fades, then of course you can just continue with your normal heals as you are doing. You would have seen this mechanic in the previous dungeon as well, so if you are falling flat in maybe one of the other ones, that could be the reason why. Time to move on to the bosses, where we're going to be splitting the team in half. Paladin Chronomancer and Lord of Order will be battling Ascended Midnight. Lord of Order will be taunting first, and then we're just going to keep taking it in turns, taunt rotating, and the taunt will be used whenever the text comes up, the moon converges. You want to be taunting that, otherwise it's going to wipe the other half of your team. And then likewise with Solstice, you'll have Legion Revenant and Dragon of Time taking on the battle. Legion Revenant will be taunting first, and again you'll just keep rotating between the two of you, taking it in turns, and the taunt cue for that particular monster is the sun converges, so whenever you see that come up, pop the taunt, otherwise again you'll be wiping the moon team. Okay, now let us get straight into this battle. Of course there are other compositions available that you can use with the classes. I'm sure the comment section as always will be flooded with what other people have been using, so there are other options out there, and this is by no means the only way you can go about doing this fight. It's just probably the easiest way, especially if you have people that are okay with taunting, so as long as you have that, you'll be absolutely fine. So as you can see, the battle has begun, and I'll just talk you through it to start with. So we've had the moon converges, so in this case, Red Sugar, aka the Bush on my side, has taunted that, and then it is my turn to keep my eyes peeled for the next message appearing. So there you go, moon converges, you can hit your scrolls of enrage, and then that is that. Now we call it taunt rotating for those of you who have no idea what on earth I'm on about, because now I've done my taunt, it is my teammate's turn to do it. So moon converges, Bush has now hit his scroll of enrage, and that is literally it. You just continue in that cycle, so I'll be up next. If you do happen to have on the skill icons underneath the boss and have that enabled, you will know when there's a taunt active, because you will see the little skull icon going around, and that is the one that is used to show that focus is being applied to an enemy. And then the battle literally just continues the same way we've said at the beginning. You may find yourself losing track of which taunt you're actually on, so the way I usually do it is I'm just talking to myself. So when I was doing the fight, I was going, this is Bush's taunt, now it's mine, now it's Bush, now it's mine, and it's exactly the same when you do Malgor or a battle similar to that. That's the way I work anyway. I find talking to myself the easiest. If you do happen to go down like they did, this can happen during the battle. It's not the end of the world, especially when you're quite a way through. You can just get back into your taunt cycle, so that can happen. Don't panic too much. The other thing of note is once one of the bosses has gone down, the other one will start to apply a 5% increase to the outgoing damage per player hit indefinitely. Now that's off their auto attack, so their attack will get very strong really quickly. So you need to make sure you're defeating them both relatively fast and near to each other. Otherwise, again, you'll end up just taking absolute heck ton of damage. And just like that, the bosses are down, and that will be the quest complete. So a huge thank you to Red Sugar, aka Bush on the left. We had Wanderlust and Thay, also known as Primal, on the right hand side. So mega thank you as always. If you happen to be new around here, please do hit that subscribe button, leave the video with a like, and I'll see you all again incredibly soon.